Alrighty, students. Hello, hello, hello. It's Mr. Arevalo, and for today's lesson, we're going to be focusing on box 1, 7.6b. This is going to be rename fractions, okay? And this is the second part of yesterday's lesson, okay? Remember I told you not to complete some problems? Well, I told you that because I hadn't showed you how to do them yet, okay? And in today's lesson, we're going to be focusing on how to do that, okay? So going into box 2 are mathematical practices, okay? For today's mathematical practice, I want us to focus on MP3, which is justify and critique. I don't know if I've ever gone over this one with you, but essentially what this means is that you can justify your strategies and you can evaluate if the ideas of your classmates make sense, as they're explaining things. If I call on them and they're letting us know how to do something, does it make sense, okay? And do your ideas make sense as well? Meaning, are you using the steps? Are you looking at step 1, step 2, step 3? Or are you just explaining, based off of what you think makes sense, okay? So going on, purpose. Today we will rename fractions greater than 1 as mixed numbers. So basically, we're doing the opposite. Okay, sorry about this E. Oh, that's a horrible E. Let me do a better one, okay? Mixed numbers. Alrighty. On the bow, you know what to do in 3, 2, and today we will rename fractions greater than 1 as mixed numbers. Great job, class. And as I was saying a little while ago, okay, today we're basically doing the opposite of what we did yesterday. If you recall yesterday, okay, we renamed mixed numbers. We turned them into fractions. Well, today we're going to take our fractions and we're going to put them back into mixed numbers, okay? And that's all we're doing. So going into box 4, our APK. Okay, we're going to be dividing in today's lesson, so I wanted to make sure that we still remember how to divide. So the instructions read as, find the quotient, and hopefully you have not forgotten how to do this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the problem. I have 289, that is the dividend, divided by 5, which is a divisor. Okay, how many times can 5 go into 2? Well, that can't happen, so then how many times can 5 go into 28? Well, that's going to be 5 times, right? And you're going to get 25. Okay, then we subtract. 8 minus 5 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. Okay, then I bring down the 9, right? How many times can 5 go into 39? Well, that's 7 times, right? It's because 5 times 7 is 35. 9 minus 5 is 4. So 57 are 4. And if you're able to get that, great job, okay? 57, remainder 4. So the quotient, 57, the remainder is 4. Going into our next problem, I have 573 divided by 6. Okay, so how many times can 6 go into 5? Well, that can't happen. So then how many times can 6 go into 57? Remember, you're thinking of a number that you can multiply 6 times to get you as close to 57 as possible without going above it, okay? And that should be 6 times 9, okay? Because 6 times 9 is 54. Subtract these. 7 minus 4 is 3. 5 minus 5 is 0. Bring down my 3, right? How many times can 6 go into 33? Well, that's going to be 5 times, right? 6 times 5 is 30. Put it underneath, subtract, get the 3, I get 95, remainder 3. Okay, and if you got both of those by yourself, by yourself, okay, then today's lesson is going to be very simple, I promise you, okay? It's just a lot of dividing, basically. That's it. Alrighty, going into box 5, our vocabulary words, okay? Your first vocabulary word is going to be fraction. Okay, fraction. And this is an amount. Okay, an amount that tells how many parts of a whole. Okay, one more time. An amount that tells how many parts of a whole. Alrighty, going into our second vocabulary word, and I'm not going to spend too much time on these classes because I'm pretty sure we all know them already by this point. Next vocabulary word is going to be a unit fraction. Okay, this is a special type of fraction, if you recall. It is special because it is a fraction, okay, a fraction that has a numerator of 1, okay? And you can tell over here, I have a 1 right there. That means it is a unit fraction, special type of fraction, okay? And our last vocabulary word is going to be a mixed number. Alrighty, and we say mixed because it is an amount given as a whole number, and a fraction, okay? It's mixed together. Alrighty. Going on. Box 6, our critical attribute, or the main component of today's lesson. So, this is what's going to happen, okay? We're going to look at the problem, and we're going to have a fraction, okay? It's going to be in fraction form already for us. And you're going to, once you see that, okay, then you're going to draw the division box. For example, I have 54 tenths right here, 54 tenths. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw my division box, which I already drew it right there for you. Now step 2, you're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. Remember, the big number goes on the inside, okay, 54 goes on the inside, and then 10 goes on the outside, okay, 10 is on the outside right here, okay. So that's step 2, okay. So how many times can 10 go into 54? Well, that's 5 times, right? 10 times 5 is 50. You put the 50, then you subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. Then 5 minus 5 is 0. Now, Mr. Arevalo, I got 5 remainder 4. You are correct, okay? If we were dividing it, okay, that would be perfect. But right now, we're not dividing, okay? I mean, we are, but what we're really doing is we're renaming, okay? Just remember that. We are renaming the fraction into a mixed number. And in order to do that, then we go into step 3, okay? So you have these numbers right here. You have the 5 on the top. That's our quotient. You have the 4. That's our remainder. And then you have 10, right? The divisor. So you are going to rewrite this now as, well, the 5 just kind of gets transferred over here, okay? So that the 5, the quotient, that's going to be our whole number, okay? And I'm reading off of step 3, okay? The 4, which is our remainder, okay, is going to be our numerator, okay? That's just going to go to the top right there. And then the number that we started off with, which was our divisor, okay, that is going to be our denominator. So, Mr. Arevalo, we divide, but instead of writing 5 remainder 4, we just make sure that the 4 is our numerator and our divisor is our denominator, right? Yes, that is all, okay? So if you can just divide, then you're going to be fine, okay? But if you struggle with dividing, this lesson might be a little bit difficult, okay? But regardless, okay, if you have any questions, please make sure that you ask me them, okay? And I'll get you through them. It's not a difficult lesson, okay? I promise you that. Alrighty, box 7, our example problem, okay? It says write the fraction as a mixed number. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at step 1, which is draw the division box. I'm going to draw it out right here. Step 2, divide the numerator by the denominator. Okay, so 66 is our numerator. The denominator is 12. So now, think of a number. How many times can 12 go into 66? Well, that's going to be 12 times 5. Okay, 12 times 5. I get 60. Okay, you subtract those. 6 minus 6 is 6. Sorry, 6 minus 0 is 6, and then 6 minus 6 is 0. So I do get 5, and I get a remainder 6. But remember, instead of saying remainder, we're going to write this a little bit differently. So I'm going to write 5. That's my whole number. Okay, remember, our quotient equals a whole number. Okay, that's how I got the 5 over there. I'll do it in different colors for you. I think that might make it nice and clear for you to see. So we'll do this 5 in blue. Okay, or even try to draw it again in blue for you. So I get 5. Alrighty, the 6 right here is going to be my numerator. Okay, so I'm going to just go like this real quick. This 6, remember, it's just going to kind of go to the top. So I'll write it right there. I don't want to draw the line too much because it's going to kind of go like this. Alrighty. And then my 12, okay, remember the divisor, 12. Okay, I'm going to put this 12 over here. So I will get 5 and 6/12. Okay. Hopefully that's not too colorful and it's not distracting. I'll only do it this one time, but I just wanted you to understand how we got the different pieces of that, okay? 5 and 6/12. And then, since we did rename this as a mixed number, okay, what I want you to do, if you can, okay, if you can, is to try to reduce it. Remember, put it into simplest form. So is there any number that can go into 6 that can also go into 12? Well, yeah, Mr. Revel, that's just going to, you're just going to divide them both by the 6, right? Yep. So if you divide them by 6, 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2, so I do get 5.5, okay? Remember, when you divide them, you still got to put the whole number, okay? Don't forget about the whole number here. Sometimes I have students that they reduce it into simplest form, and they have 5 and 6/12, and they'll say, in simplest form, 5 and 6/12 is a half. Okay, remember, you have to include the whole number. Okay? You don't divide the whole number, okay? You just kind of carry that over. Going into our next example problem, I have 35/11. So again, draw the division box. Divide the numerator by the denominator. So 11 times 3 is 33. Subtract, okay? So I do get 3 and 2/11. Okay, that's renaming right there. Okay, we changed the fraction into a mixed number. And if you're able to get that, great job. If you got both of those, I'm very proud of you, okay? So keep up the good work. And if you didn't, just try to figure out where your mistake is at and then let me know, okay? Box 8, our non-example, where is the mistake? Okay, well, I have 28 tenths, okay, 28 tenths. And they're saying that that is equal to 2 and 10/8. Okay, so they divided, they went through the steps, but there is a mistake. Okay, and most of you guys can see it already. The mistake, I'm gonna do it again just to kind of show you guys. Okay, I'm gonna draw my division box, put the 28 inside, put the 10 outside. How many times can 10 go into 28? Well, that's 2 times, right? So I do get 20, subtract, 8 minus 0 is 8. So instead of writing equals 2 and 8/10, okay, they wrote 2 and 10/8. So basically they got confused when it came to step 3, okay, and instead of putting our remainder, okay, as our numerator, they put it as our denominator, okay, so that's where the mistake happened. Okay, and you can kind of see right here, this 8 right there, and then the 10 from over here. Okay, and that's how they made their mistake right there. Okay, so again, just make sure that you read step 3, okay, and that you get familiar with it so that you don't make that mistake. Okay, Mr. Revelo, they got 2 and 8/10. Can't you put that into simplest form? Well, yeah, you can. Okay, but if you get to 2 and 8/10, I'll be happy. If you are able to divide that into simplest form, okay, then I'll be, super happy, okay, super excited. So again, if you divided that, you would just get 2, and I'm going to divide both of those by 2, right? So I'd get 2 and 4/5. So again, if you're struggling with putting it into simplest form, that's okay right now, okay? It's not a big deal. But again, as long as you can at least get to the mixed number, I will be happy with that. Going into box 9, our critical attribute connection steps. So step 1, we are going to draw, we are going to draw the division box. Okay. Step 2, we are going to divide the numerator, right, by the denominator. You guys can just write N and D. I'm okay with that. Now, step 3, this is the one I want you guys to focus on, okay? Our quotient equals the whole number. The remainder equals our numerator. Write it out here, okay? Don't get lazy on this part. I gave you enough space. And the divisor equals the denominator, okay? Denominator. Alrighty, okay? So step 3 is our most important step for today's lesson, okay? Box 10 are sample problems. Write the fraction as a mixed number. So again, I have 65 ninths. 65 ninths. Step 1, I'm going to draw my division box, okay? Draw it right there. Step 2, divide the numerator by the denominator. So 65 goes inside, 9 goes outside. How many times can 9 go into 65? Well, that's going to be 9 times, let's see, 9 times 8, no, 9 times 7. Yeah, it's going to be 9 times 7, which you should get 63. Okay, you subtract those. 5 minus 3 is 2. So now, remember, step 3, okay? It says the whole number. Oops, sorry. It says our quotient is our whole number. So I'm going to just write it out like this. So 7 is our quotient. That's going to be our whole number. Okay. The remainder is our numerator. So I do have 2 as our remainder. And the divisor is our denominator. So I should have 2 ninths. So altogether, that is 7 and 2 ninths. If you were able to do that, great job, okay? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Going into the next problem, 49 eighths. So again, draw the division box. Step 2, divide the numerator by the denominator. 49 goes inside. 8 goes outside. How many times can 8 go into 49? Well, that's going to be 8 times 6. Okay, that's going to be 48. Subtract those, right? So you do get 1. So again, rewrite it as 6 and 1/8. Okay. Mr. Revelo, how come your 1 looks so big? I'm not sure. That is a big one, but anyways, okay, if you're able to get 6 and 1/8, great job, Cub. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Alrighty, box 11, our recap. So today we renamed, fractions greater than 1 as mixed, as mixed numbers. So now for collaborative work and homework, I want you to focus on the share and show problems 5 through 7 and 11 through 13 on page 303. So basically, I want you to do the problems that we didn't finish yesterday, okay? Because remember yesterday I said only do certain problems. Well, now today, do the other problems, 5 through 7 and 11 through 13. And for your homework, homework, pay attention. It is going to be 7.6. Again, Mr. Revelo, we already did this. Yes, I know, okay? But remember, I told you not to do 9 through 16 yesterday. Today, you will be doing 9 through 16, okay? And again, if you have any questions, please make sure that you ask me them. But again, it's mostly about dividing in this lesson, okay? So if you can divide and you remember those steps, it should be a pretty simple lesson. With that said, see you in the next lesson.